Must say that was a quick cue. So, now we're gonna play the Vault. The level 57 story dungeon sinks to level 58. Turns out the archbishop of the Ishgardian Orthodox Church isn't the holy man that everybody makes him out to be. He's actually quite corrupt. So we're gonna go in and deal with him. Unfortunately, there's about a bazillion knights between us and him, so we're gonna have to deal with them first. Alright, well, new level, new abilities. And the new ability I get at level 58 is Dreadworm Trance. Now, alright, so Dreadworm Trance. This is a little more complicated of an ability, but it's important to know because it's pretty much the first step of all of the cool abilities you have at level 60 and level 70, basically. All of their abilities are based around the Dreadworm Trance. So if you're watching my ether flow gauge, you'll notice something a little different. When I'm using ether flow abilities, instead of expending ether flow stacks, they're turning into those little blue, flaming looking stacks. This is what is known as ether trail attunement. And so now, instead of spending my ether flow stacks, I'm converting them into ether trail attunement. When all three of them are attuned, then I can enter Dreadworm Trance. Now, Dreadworm Trance, while in the trance, my magical abilities are my magic damage is considerably increased. Ruinry becomes an instant cast, and Tribind actually becomes a potent AoE attack. So there's a lot of interesting things that can happen while you're in the Dreadworm Trance. It's a time where you can really do increased damage. The catch is, while you're in Dreadworm Trance, you cannot use ether flow, and you cannot restore your ether flow stacks or use ether flow abilities. So you're going to want to focus on refreshing your dots if you can. Oh, and by the way, when you enter into Dreadworm Trance, another thing that happens is your Tri-Disaster immediately refreshes. So you can immediately apply Tri-Disaster while you're under the increased magic damage that Dreadworm Trance gives you. Again, Tribind actually becomes a potent AoE spell, so go ahead and use that. But, as I said, this actually proves to be the basis of higher level abilities. So, at level 60, you'll notice that I'm paying attention to things, and anyway, at level 60 you'll gain the ability Death Flare, which basically can only be executed while in Dreadworm Trance, and is one of the most powerful abilities summoners get. Dreadworm Trance will then set, after the second time using your Dreadworm Trance, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. When you get to level 70, for every second time you use Dreadworm Trance, you'll be able to summon Demi-Bahamut, which is even more powerful than using Death Glare. So, great abilities occur. Great abilities are unlocked behind Dreadworm Trance. So Dreadworm Trance, like I said, is really the beginning of the end as far as great summoner abilities. Alright, so now that I'm done kind of failing and rambling about the wonders of Dreadworm Trance, it's time to ramble about the wonders of this first boss. So, Sir Adolfel, like all the bosses in this dungeon, really, you'll start fighting them normally, but then he will basically take on increased power, because he's basically channeling the power of the Ascians. Kind of sucks like that. So he'll get all of his HP back and become considerably more powerful. So you'll want to start dishing out the damage here. For this guy, really all you have to worry about is when he starts running around the room and dropping white orbs, don't be standing near any of them. Ah, speaking of the white orbs, and when you're marked with that circle AoE, don't be anywhere where it's going to hit anybody. Other than that, just standard boss fighting techniques. You're probably going to want to stick with mostly single target abilities. And sometime before the trance ends, I'm going to use Try Disaster to refresh my dots on him while I still have the increased damage. Putting the magic vulnerability up increases the damage even more. Alright, he's doing the white orbs again, but hopefully we have him down before that even becomes an issue. Oh. And he's gonna go down. So we have to wait for him to fade back to normal, and then escape. And then the boss chamber will open like usual. I'm gonna fail to roll on things. Alright. So now to the second floor to fight some more knights. Now, the buffing of Tribind during Dreadworm Trance is actually a relatively recent addition. It was added, I think, about patch 4.1. It's a very welcome addition, by the way, because up until patch 4.1, as you may have heard me discuss previously, when we first got Tribind was a completely useless ability. And once you hit level 58 and you get Dreadworm Trance, all of a sudden, now that they've added this buff, Tribind actually becomes a useful spell, but only during Dreadworm Trance. It drops the bind effect, but the bind effect was never really all that great anyway, and just increases its potency, but again, only when you're in Reborn Trance. So I'll use my Tribind to continue to weaken both enemies until I get them done. And don't forget, when you're in Dreadworm Trance, that Ruin 3 is instant cast instead of a normal timed cast. Alright, watch out. In this room, 2 enemies are going to appear. No. Dreadworm Trance. Then I can start tri-binding. You know, it occurs to me, it's really the first time I've ever really played any of these lower level dungeons with a summoner since the changes to tri-bind were made. Alright, our quest to reach the archbishop continues. Okay, we're gonna do a bigger pull here, that's fine. Alright, watch out for the attacks from the White Knight and the Black Knight. But I'm glad they're doing the bigger pull here, because that means I can do all of this stuff. I don't know if we're going to get to a point where, oh, that will refresh. I don't know if we're going to get to a point where we're going to have ether flow stacks again. And even if we do, we'll probably just end up saving those for the next boss. Alright, so the second boss begins much like the first boss, in that the knight we're going to be fighting is going to seem to be going down very easily. Cut you to pieces. But then he's going to jump into his second form, which is considerably harder. I'm not going to try to burn my ether flow stacks too rigorously until he transforms.
I will not yield to you!
There we go.
I have the power!
Alright, so now life gets a little more interesting, so I'm going to throw down all the debuffs on him. Bacon attack!
Down with you!
Alright, so when he uses the bacon attack, aka hyperdimensional slash, he'll put up those voids. You don't want to get anywhere near those voids. And when he casts Faith Unmoving, he'll knock you back into the wall. And if you have your back to a void, he'll knock you into that, so don't. Dimensional Rip, just get away from it. Because you don't want to be anywhere near that circle. Take an attack.
Down with you!
Obviously, when you see those big AoE patterns, stay out of them. The key is to always position yourself so that Faith Unmoving isn't going to knock you into anything nasty. But right now, I love my position, but if he tries to put another bacon attack at me, I might be in a little trouble.
Down with you!
But on the other hand, this would be a great place to place the bacon attack. Again, it's not actually called the bacon attack, that's just what I call it. Because it looks like bacon. Alright, he may do another bacon attack, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. We got him. So that boss can get rather nasty if he places depending on the placement of the voids and all of the AoEs that are going to just tear you apart if you let him. All right. So far, so good. I'm going to come this way because I don't want to get aggroed by that guy as he comes around the corner. Because the tank went the wrong way. It happens. It happens to me more often than I'd really like to admit. Having Reborn Trance and not Death Flare is a major annoyance. Unfortunately, even though I actually am at level 60 outside of the dungeon and have the level 60 quest active, I actually have to complete all of the level 57 and 58 content to unlock the area I need to be in to finish the level 60 Summoner quest and get one of my favorite abilities in the entire game, Death Flare. But never you worry, I'll have Death Flare by the time I get to the level 59 dungeon, to be sure. Ooh, gimme. Now, I'm actually getting some caster gear out of this. Yeah, this is another Black Knight and White Knight, like the ones we faced before the second boss. And that will open up the path to the next floor. And there's not really that much to go now until the last boss. Yeah, the fact that Tribind is now a useful AoE during Reborn Trance really actually changes the mechanics of Reborn Trance from where they were when you were initially running this at level 58. Because you can actually do a lot of AoE damage while in Reborn Trance. Whereas that really wasn't the case with the initial run. Of course, there have been a lot of changes to the way that the Dreadworm Trance cycle operates since it first came out. And what the version that I am giving is current as of patch 4.3. Or more accurately, 4.36. So who knows if you're watching this 2 or 3 years down the road. And by the way, it is impossible to kill the Vault Priest before he finishes casting Summon Familiar. He will just simply sit at 1% until he gets the attack off. Loving all this AoE I'm doing. Yeah, this is definitely a different experience than it was last time I played this as a summoner. Alright, well that was the last trash pull. Now it's time for the final boss of this dungeon, and no, it actually isn't the Archbishop. That's going to come later. There's the Archbishop escaping into his room like the coward he is. And this guy doesn't even do the pretense of fighting you normally. He goes straight into his big form. Alright, lots of things happen here. So we're gonna go with them as they come. You're always going to want to be not getting hit by that. You're always going to want to be standing south and facing north. If you get hit by, or if you get connected to somebody by a chain, like I was there, you and the other person you're chained to need to run away from each other to break the chain.
Must be purged.
When you see the knights appear at the north end of the arena, you need to get into a position where they're not going to be running smack into you. Get out of that, like I didn't do the first time because I was talking. Okay, I'm chained, run away, there you go. Alright, eventually you'll push him down to the point where he'll disappear. He'll get into the center with a bunch of knights and prepare his ultimate. A bunch of flames are going to appear. Start killing the flames. Avoid AoEs as they come out. But mainly, just focus these guys down. This is what's going to keep you alive. Oh yeah,
This shall be a mercy.
Alright, so position yourself back in the south.
You disgust me.
basically going to see the same attacks you saw in the first phase,
Sickness must be
except
purged.
this time they're going to be coming a little quicker. So you got to be on your toes.
Be gone
And you're
with
going to
you.
see a lot of attacks go off at the same time that you really wish wouldn't. Like this one, the Burning Chains and the Knights.
Sickness must be purged.
It's so much that you're going to find it difficult to keep your combos going. But attack when you can, dodge mechanics when you need to. You've seen everything that can possibly happen to you in this fight now.
Sickness must be purged.
And just know that at this point, what you're going to mainly be seeing is combination attacks.
Be gone with you.
So you just need to... Oh, crap. That wasn't good.
Sickness
That
must be
was a
purged.
dodging mistake on my part. But we've got this.
Sickness must be purged.
We're gonna win this fight now. So there you have it. That really, I think, is one of the more complicated fights, at least in the leveling dungeons. Hey, is that another piece of summoner equipment? Yes, it is. I am made out like a bandit in this dungeon, in terms of gear. Alright, so that was the vault. And I hope you enjoyed yourself. Next up is going to be the level 57 trial, which is Bismarck. And until then, have a great day.